It works pretty well, so on auto it's just, keeping the skies clear. There we go, we got the break, and take a look at the damage we are doing right now. It's way higher than before, and the enemy can't do a thing. Sup guys, it's Kosh, and today in Idle Moon Rabbit we'll talk about the skill builds. This is a beginner's guide for all the content builds that you can use, so you can just, copy it from here and get better results if you don't know what you're doing. Once again, this is a beginner's guide, so as you progress the game, unlock runes, get pets and all that stuff, it will be different, but for early game that will help you to get more per ticket, per run, per everything. So let's go. Although before we start, I would advise you guys to install the LD player. That's the thing that I usually use when I play idle games and most Android games. So you can play them on the PC and sync progress using the Google account or Facebook, whatever, and leave your characters running in the background during the night without using your phone, battery, overheating and that kind of stuff. Really convenient. The link will be in the video description. So right, once you reach chapter 3, you will be able to create different setups for each situation. You can select those by clicking this button on the right up from your skills. Those are your presets. You got 6 basic presets, and each preset for each dungeon, for each trial, for each situation. There are a lot of those. We won't cover all of them today, luckily, because we don't have all of them available. We'll just go through the main ones that we have available for us. And since we are noobs, right, we have only epic skills, basically, right? I won't go over the epic, I won't go for legendary skills that I don't have, that you don't have. Yeah, we'll try to use only the things that we have over here in order to get the max gain. So right, let's start with the basic preset. Basic preset is being used for 2 things for me. First one is farming, and depending on which area I farm, if I farm the top tier area, I use the same as I use for the push. If I farm lower tier area where enemies have been one-shotted, I'm using different one. Now the treasure dungeon. For the treasure dungeon we got all those novas, we got both whirlwinds and the mana gain in order to be able to do more AoE damage. So this is how it works. You try to kite the enemies closer to you, and then your skills do the rest of the work. That's pretty straightforward. It's important not to die though, because if you go to the higher difficulties, those guys can do quite a lot of damage to you, and it's really important to take them out fast enough so you can... Yeah, there we go, they're destroyed. So you will have enough time to take enough of them per run. Alright, here is what I use for the farming runs when I don't have to fight strong enemies. So basically those are the skills that I've been used to shoot projectiles far away, and this one as well. Where is it? Why it's not there? There we go. For faster movement speed. So that's what I have. I don't have the last slot unlocked yet, so yeah, pick something that you want for that slot later on, maybe tornado for some AoE. But yeah, basically those are the skills to shoot enemies before they reach you, for AoE, for the long range combat basically. And if the enemies are weak, it works really well. This is how those skills have been used against the weak enemies. They just been destroyed, so we won't have to run that far, we won't have to use the manual attacks. It works pretty well, so on auto it's just, keeping the skies clear. Although if you are too strong like I'm here, you might want to go for the higher tier area, so the enemies will be on the battlefield. They won't be absent like they are for me. Now if you have enemies close and up front, I use totally different setup. I use these top tier AoE skills that are doing pretty good AoE. Then I have this light singularity in order to slow them down a bit. And of course mana gain for mana gain. So basically that allows you to take out enemies before they reach you by doing crazy AoE damage and destroy them in the big groups. That's pretty efficient way of taking out the enemies. Specifically if you can kite them around and make the big group out of those guys that can all take damage from the same AoE skills. Look at that, it's working really well. They are dying. If you are in the higher levels, you will need some survivability maybe, but it's more about you running away from them instead of, using the right skills. So, yeah, the enemies, they just suffer from this, that's doing crazy damage. Moreover, this fire rune allows you to heal a bit if you take damage. So, yeah, that will allow you to take them out and go to the next level. Now let's move on to the skill dungeon. Depending if you have enough mana, you might wanna use this. If you don't have enough mana, you might wanna switch one of those skills, either lightning or ice spear. I think it's better to remove lightning and have blessing of mana to recover your own mana if you need it. Up to you. So that's what you have that will allow you to properly get more score in the skill dungeon. By the way, when you are entering the dungeon or any other game mode, you need to switch to the bookmark tab. That will allow you to use the skill that you have for the specific dungeon. Otherwise, you will use the one that you are using right now for the combat. Using those skills allow you to break enemy and increasing damage you do to them drastically, and they won't be able to attack you. So that way you can push further by doing excessive damage to the enemy while they won't be able to do anything for you. And of course, during the fight, try to avoid the red zones if there are any, and make sure that you have enough HP defense or regen to do that. There we go, we got the break, and take a look at the damage we are doing right now. It's way higher than before, and the enemy can't do a thing. But yeah, try to avoid the zones if you can. Next one is Golden XP dungeon, and here we got the skills that do a lot of attacks, because in that dungeon the enemies take only 1 damage per hit, and you need to do as much AoE and as many hits as possible. So we got the Rain of Fire, we got both Whirlwinds, the Cold and Fire one, we got the Cloud of whatever that thing is, and we got the Haste for additional attack speed. When you enter the dungeon, you might want to pull all those guys together, because your normal attacks, they do damage, but they don't do that much. So when everyone is kinda following you, you can get even more kills per minute or whatever per your duration. So try, do your best to do that and increase the uptime of your skills. For the chapter boss, I don't have the exact build. That's what I made up right now, because usually I just destroy them. I was like, that's easy. So I get the skill that increase attack speed, and the skills that get this damage to the boss bonuses. So that's this skill, this skill. This skill is good because it increases the damage taken by enemy, and they all stack up over time basically, and being really useful. Dark Spear is good as well. So I'm using those. If I lack mana though, I can switch one of those for mana regen, or maybe for this chilling armor that will give me additional defense and mana recovery. So, you know, something like that. That's what we have. For the world boss, we need a lot of crowd control to take him out, to put him in slumber while he's casting his ultimate. This is not the best build yet, I'm still working on it, but it will help you out. So you have a lot of those crowd control skills that will fill his stagger bar and or deplete it, and he will be staggered and he will take insane damage. That's what worked for me right now, at least. I might want to replace some of those with more damaging spells, so we can do more damage, like instead of lightning, use this spell or something, but it works kinda okay so far, but it still needs some optimizing. Moreover, you might wanna have some of those skills of the auto use, so you can use them when he will go into the angry state, and he won't kill you in one shot basically, and you can avoid his attacks. In the Tower of Guardian, I use the same skill setup that I use for normal dungeon push, for normal stages push, and it's really important to take out those towers before the enemies will take you out, because they do pretty decent amount of damage, and you would like to keep them at bay. That's not always an easy option, because they are very strong, specifically at the later stages. So yeah, once you remove the towers, it will help to take them out, no problem. And yeah, just try to avoid enemy fire and you will be okay. And yeah, I think those are all the builds that I can show you today right now, because I haven't progressed more, and that will help the newer players to be more effective in those areas, push further, get more daily rewards, and become stronger faster. Let me know if you get extra tips for the builds down below in the comments. I am telling you guys that I might be wrong in some areas, because this is for beginners and I'm a beginner yet, don't have everything, haven't did crazy research on this point. So if you can help everyone out, do it. Comments are just for that. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. That will help the channel drastically. And check out the video description for additional links. LD Player to play this and other Android games on the PC. You can leave idle games running. My other YouTube channels, social media, Discord, and other useful stuff will be over there as well. Just like playlist with more guides on idle Moon Rabbit. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching. That's about it for now. Stan Kosh out. Have a good one. Bye.